There's one more thing that Putin said that I just don't know if it's true, and it may be a lie because it's just so unlikely. But maybe it's unlikely because we've just never heard it before. It's when Putin claimed that there was everyone knows there was a negotiation, a peace negotiation very early in the war, a year and a half ago. I think it was happening in Istanbul, Turkey. And they had a tentative agreement that Vladimir Zelensky himself had tentatively agreed to. And there's sort of two parts to the story that are incredible. The first part is actually sort of already known. It's that Russia and Zelensky had more or less agreed they were going to have peace after 6 months, not after 2 years. A peace that would have saved hundreds of thousands of lives. But Boris Johnson, the former prime minister of the UK, who wasn't even the PM at that time, was dispatched on behalf of NATO and America to scupper the deal, to tell Zelensky, don't you dare sign it. Do you have that part of the clip? Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look.
Was they who started the war in 2014. Our goal is to stop this war. And we did not start this war in 2022. This is an attempt to stop it.
Do you think you've stopped it now? I mean, have you achieved your aims?
No, we haven't achieved our aims yet, because one of them is denazification. This means the prohibition of all kinds of neo-Nazi movements. This is one of the problems that we discussed during the negotiation process, which ended in Istanbul early this year. And it was not our initiative, because we were told by the Europeans, in particular, that it was necessary to create conditions for the final signing of the documents. My counterparts in France and Germany said, how can you imagine them signing a treaty with a gun to their heads? The troops should be pulled back from Kiev. I said, all right. We withdrew the troops from Kiev. As soon as we pulled back our troops from Kiev, our Ukrainian negotiators immediately threw all our agreements reached in Istanbul into the bin and got prepared for a long-standing armed confrontation with the help of the United States and its satellites in Europe. That is how the situation has developed, and that is how it looks now.
All right, that was the second part. Olivia, I just sent you the clip of the first part. That, I think, is an astonishing thing that I've never heard before. Did you hear what he said? That they were negotiating a peace deal in Istanbul. And Western leaders, I think he said France and Germany, said, how can you have Zelensky negotiate with a gun at his head, pull back from the capital, Kiev? And Putin claims he pulled back to allow Zelensky to sign the deal. And that's when the West said, we're going to continue to fight. I've never heard that before. I've only heard the Western point of view, which is that, no, the Ukrainian armed forces, with funding and materials from NATO, drove the Russians back. Not that they deliberately withdrew. I find it implausible, but maybe it is the truth. Or maybe it's a lie that Putin says to keep domestic Russian support. Because if Russia was losing a war, that would look terrible. A dictator's power or authoritarian's power is self-reinforcing, self-fulfilling. As long as the dictator looks and sounds powerful, he will be powerful. But the moment he looks vulnerable and weak, it'll all come imploding. So maybe that's a lie. But I have to say, even if it's only 1% chance it's true, that's a heck of a counter narrative, isn't it? But I just sent Olivia that another clip that I haven't listened to because I'm on the show, but I saw the description. That Istanbul meeting that they're talking about, that Putin allegedly pulled his tanks back to give Zelensky breathing room to sign it. We've heard from other people. We've heard from the Israeli government who was there saying, yeah, we basically had a deal. We heard from other leaders who were in the room. And here's Putin describing how they essentially had a peace deal a year and a half ago, but the West scuppered it. Take a look.
We support this.
So I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying. I don't think that I am. I think you're saying you want a negotiated settlement to what's happening in Ukraine.
Right. And we made it. We prepared a huge document in Istanbul that was initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He affixed his signature to some of the provisions, not to all of it. He put his signature and then he himself said, we were ready to sign it and the war would have been over long ago, 18 months ago. However, Prime Minister Johnson came, talked us out of it, and we missed that chance. We support this.
So I just want to make sure I'm not...
You know, I think that's incredible. We're learning about the war. We're learning about Putin's openness to a diplomatic resolution. And now Hillary Clinton says it's a pack of lies. And I suppose if someone knows lies, she's a connoisseur of lies. She's an impresario of lies. She's the master and mistress of lies. She would know. Or maybe she just doesn't want to hear Vladimir Putin's point of view. I don't know. But I do know that for a course of 2 hours, Vladimir Putin talked on a range of subjects with a depth and detail that I think few foreign leaders could match. And that doesn't mean he's a good person. But what it means is that Russia is led by a powerful leader who understands his country and is focused on his country's national goals. Can you say the same about the leaders in the West? Can you say the same about Rishi Sunak in the UK? Can you say the same about Justin Trudeau here?